solitary slip position. Very, very, I'm not going to say defensive, that's the wrong word. Here's Shami again, and he does beat the edge, only because Bairstow opened the face and was looking to run it down the third man. So, defensive field, sometimes run-saving fields, that's what I should say, can be pressure exerting. They can create pressure of their own. You don't, there's a common perception that if you've got three slips of gully and a short leg, you've got, that's the only attacking field. But this is India on the defence.
Yes, I mean, you can understand them having their sweepers out, but at one point you say, hang on, we've just got to bring these guys in and create a bit, make them force the shot.
Yeah, Shami in again, Bairstow once more. Yeah, sometimes it's like back and across and get into position and really assert yourself on the defensive shots as well as the attacking ones. But at the moment, as I said, the ball seems so soft and holding so tired that Bairstow's just standing there and blocking it. Like I said, he's facing a tennis ball. Double change in the commentary box. Another word from Stuart Mika. He'll be replaced by Prakash Wakankar, and my spot will be taken by Nikesh Rughani.
Thank you very much, Neil. So yes, closing stages of the day. Then we're into the final half an hour. Of course, the scheduled close of play should have been 4 minutes ago, but allowed the extra half an hour to get the overs in as well. Welcome back to Prakash as Jasprit Bumrah runs in from the pavilion end. Comes in, delivers to Root, who's forward and flicking this away out towards mid-wicket for another single. Prakash still looking rather simple for England out there at the moment. This ball second over, or there or thereabouts. We did have the ball changed, didn't we? But it's not doing an awful lot. The field placings are somewhat bemusing as well, and they're just being allowed to accumulate here, England.
Absolutely, and I think India have not held on to the opportunities. There have been two from Johnny Bairstow. First, Hanuman Vihari didn't react at all, and then Rishabh Pant, the difficult one down the leg side, but he's got them in the past. This one just not staying in the left mid.
Bumrah once again, and this is driven, but only as far as Iyer in the covers there. No run once more, so 155 more required for victory. Prakash, 7 wickets in hand. How do India get back into this one? Can you see a way?
Well, I mean, you never say never in cricket, do you? But it's going to be very, very hard. And win-whiz, which is one of the sort of measures that has become reasonably predictive of the future, now has England at 61% favourites to win.
Bumrah continues into Bairstow, pulls this one away towards the leg side. So just another single as well. Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on that win-whiz, and it's been up and down, and every time India take a wicket, or certainly when they took those 3 in quick succession, they were up at around 60-odd% as well. But yeah, 61% England. The draw still 3%, Prakash, which is strange. I mean, you've got to give it at least 1% because it could just chuck it down with rain, and we could have some long delays, and that could help. But I don't think that's going to happen. India down at 34%. As Bumrah runs in once more, delivers wide and full, and the treatment it deserved. Beautiful cover drive there from Joe Root into the gap on the offside. He moves on to 70, England 228 for 3.
Absolutely fantastic shot again from Joe Root, leant into it. It was one of those rare nose deliveries. I don't know, I'm just going to say something which might come back and bite me, but I do think, Nikesh, that it's looking like a rudderless ship at the moment. Jasprit Bumrah, obviously, as the captain and the spearhead of the attack, you can sense that he has. I'm not sure he's getting enough in the field from his teammates.
Once again, and this is Root defending out towards backward point. Yes, he's doing a difficult job, obviously, being the spearhead of the attack, as you said, and being the leader of this side. But yeah, there's just a bit of a flat feeling out there. As soon as this partnership started to bubble away and got to about 40, 50, you just saw heads starting to drop, and they need G'ing up. There needs to be more energy out.
But that partnership, I think, has been allowed also without taking anything away from the England batsmen, because of the easy singles that have been available all the way through.
Yep. Bumrah once more, and this is driven, fielded at mid-off, and there is no run. Are you somewhat sort of, as the over comes to an end, England bemused by some of the field placings, those two short wickets that they were persisting with, and big gaps on both sides of the wicket?
You remember that, I think, more or less through the last series, the 4 tests, that is, they had those two positions, and they got, I think it was Rory Burns, they got a couple of times that way, and they got a fair few wickets. But that was also when the ball was doing a little bit, and they were able to get it in from off onto sort of middle leg. Here, because the ball wasn't doing much, there was enough runs to be accumulated on either side of the wicket, and that, I think, has been the difference. They've been bereft of new class. I haven't seen Hanuma Vihari bowl an over. Why would you not do that?
Shami in once again, this time to Bairstow, who flicks around towards long leg. Another single there. Absolutely, yeah. Hanuma Vihari has bowled in Test cricket before. A useful off-spinner in the mould of somebody like a Joe Root. He can just come on and do a job, see what happens, see if he can get any purchase from the pitch. But clearly, there's an elephant in the room.
Virat Kohli is trying the one thing that he can try, which is show the ball to the umpire and see if he can get a change.
Here we go. Richard Kettleborough has the ball in his hand now, and we'll wait and see what comes of it. He's not interested, and the ball goes back to Shami on the bounce, interestingly, as well. So India will have to persist with this. Big elephant in the room, Ashwin. No Ashwin.
Well, that's hindsight. I don't know. I mean,
Shami into Root, who pushes out towards deep backward point. Another easy single taken by England, 230 for 3. Well, you look at somebody like a Shardul Thakur, he would have been the replacement, I suppose, for Ashwin in the side, or, you know, that spot was the one that was up for grabs if Ashwin was to have a sniff. He's not offered much with the bat, Shardul Thakur. He seems a confused man. He doesn't know whether to block and bat properly or give it a bash like a lower-end batter. He's kind of caught between those two things, and it hasn't quite worked. So we've not seen the runs. He looks ineffective with the ball as well. Couldn't have gone any worse with somebody like an Ashwin with either bat or ball. But you're right, hindsight. And we deal with what is here and now.
What we just saw on the field is symptomatic of what's happening. Vihari was called up. Shubman Gill was moving into the cordon, asking whether he's getting into a catching position or not, and everything's gone back to the way it was after they'd both moved halfway to their positions.
Shami in once more, and Bairstow just drops this into the ground and out in front of point to the fielder there, cover point. Shubman Gill, no run.
The one sure sign of India being flat is when Virat Kohli is quiet. Even he is no longer either able or in the mood to be able to sort of get some excitement, get some adrenaline flowing. Maybe they've just decided that, you know, whatever happens, they're going to give it their best shot in the morning and hope for a miracle, because that's what it'll take if India are to pull anything off from here.
Shami delivers again, and this time Bairstow flicks out towards deep backward square leg. That's going to be his half century. He gets back for 2 to move on to 51. And his great reign of form continues, making up his first innings century. There's the 2 Yorkshiremen out there, proving to be a thorn in India's side at the moment, and taking England into a very strong position indeed as they look to chase down 378, his 24th Test 50 in his 87 matches. He is in the form of his life, Prakash.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's enjoying his cricket. He's scoring runs at will and batting superbly.
Shami in once more, and this is chopped away down towards deep third. That's going to beat the man down there as well. Another 4 runs to Bairstow at England, and they are motoring. Just before he brought up his half century, Prakash, you were saying it's all gone flat out there. There's no energy. The Indian fans, there was a big Bhangra procession going on in the Eric Holly stand, right at the top left of that. So they were trying to get into it. They were trying to G up the side, and we've seen the Indian players try and G up the crowd. Well, they were trying to do it the opposite way, and it hasn't really worked here. I suppose it doesn't help when you're bowling short, wide deliveries like that and getting cut away for 4.
Well, that was a thickish outside edge as well, so it went very fine.
Shami in, and this is defended by Bairstow. 2 mid on, end of another over. 53 overs old this ball, so still a long stretch to go before they can get their hands on a second new ball. And then 236 for 3, another 142 runs required. And it was just really that change of ball, that little period where India took those 3 wickets, 2 with the ball and then the 1 run out as well, and they were causing 1 or 2 problems out there. But they'll rue those 2 chances off Bairstow, won't they? Particularly, I feel that the Vihari catch, yes, it flew, but it was a good height, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a
those are the
catchable
moments.
height. Went between his hands over his head. I just think he either didn't see the ball or he just reacted too late. But that's all done and dusted. We're seeing another bowling change now. Yes, looks like it.
Bumrah with his cap and jumper off, and then deciding to put on Siraj.
I think what's happened is Pant's probably suggested that Bumrah come in and try one last time from the far end, the opposite end, the end from where he got his wickets in the first innings. That's what I'm sensing.
Sensible, but it again begs the question: who is leading this side? Because we saw Rishabh Pant going up for a review early. He was the one making the signal, when it is normally the skipper who the umpires have to look to from the fielding side. But Virat Kohli giving team talks. I mean, it's good to see them a leadership group and sort of.
The fact of the matter is, and we know this about leadership anywhere, nothing succeeds like success. The first innings performance was great,
Yep.
and it looked like Bumrah was great national captain. It hasn't been great. Now people will ask questions about his captaincy.
Yeah.
The reality is India batted very poorly in the morning today,
Yes.
and handed the advantage that they clearly held to England, and England, to their credit, have played superbly in a different way, delivering the baseball, scoring at 5 runs and over.
Siraj round the wicket here to Root. It's short, and it looks as though this is going to be a bit of a tactic here with him coming round the wicket. Root just leaves well alone. It's through to Pant. 1 bouncer signalled for the over as well. I mean, to be fair, we were asking in the first innings as well who is really leading this side, but yeah, things worked out well, and it wasn't seen as a sort of criticism as such. Do they continue to persist with the short stuff? They've got a backward square leg sort of halfway to the boundary. They've got a deep mid wicket, a fine leg as well. In comes Siraj. It is short, it is pulled away straight to the man there on the deep mid wicket boundary. So just a single this time. Comfortable height that for Joe Root, really. Well, we saw England persist with these tactics, didn't we, when India were 5 down and building that first innings partnership between Jadeja and Pant. And I think this is a sensible way to go, Prakash. Just bomb it down halfway.
Well, you've got to try something different. I don't know if it's sensible or otherwise, but what I will point out is your best fielder is a third man. Jadeja is down on the third man boundary.
Very fine, it has to be said as well.
Maybe for the top edge. Well, top edges nowadays don't stay inside the playing area. They're typically found on the third,
True.
fourth row behind in the stands.
True. Maybe for the attempted ramp gone wrong. As Siraj comes into Bairstow this time, and this is short and pulled away in the air and over the head of the fielder down there at long leg, all the way for 6. He just thought for a moment that he had a chance of catching that, and then watched the ball sail over his head quite comfortably, a good few metres over the rope. Well, it was slightly top edgish that from Johnny Bairstow. But there you go, Prakash, top edges, flying away for 6.
Well, you'd expect that, wouldn't you? I mean, New Zealand tried this tactic where at Trent Bridge, I didn't see the game live, but I watched it on television. And, you're not going to really trouble Johnny Bairstow with this stuff on this pitch at the pace at which Siraj is bowling.
Siraj continues here around the wicket. Comes in, bowls, and this is a short one down the leg side, and it shows you how it's signalled wide as well. This is another one sort of overhead height, but the bounce on that, Prakash, Rishabh Pant's basically taking it ankle height as well, so
There's no pace.
there's no pace, there's no zip, there's no real rushing of the batters with this short stuff. Looking quite comfortable at the moment.
In goes Siraj. What has he got in his mind?
Well, he comes again, and this is cut away into the gap cover, and there's another single to Bairstow. Prakash, I don't know if you're familiar with the Mitchell Johnson song that the Barmy Army have sang on many occasions. A couple of the words not repeatable on national radio, but the Australians will be well aware of it listening here, and the same song being sung to Mohamed Siraj, which is a little bit harsh. And he comes again, and this is Roots just defending into the offside. Roots still on 72. England 245 for 3 now. 133 runs away from victory. You can just sense, despite the songs and the lyrics and things like that, it's rocking Edgbaston, and hopefully we get a full house here tomorrow for what's looking increasingly like an England victory here. Free tickets, if you haven't heard. You do need a ticket, but they're giving them away for free for the 5th day as Root flicks away, leg side. Another single. Finish off the over. England 246 for 3. Great initiative, Prakash. Trent Bridge started it. Yorkshire followed. And as Jared Kimber was saying, I know Trent Bridge started the trend, but if the Yorkies do it, this would have looked bad if they didn't do it. Yorkshiremen known for being, liking to keep the pennies in the back pocket sort of thing. It's a good initiative here to get the fans in for day 5. I mean, they might not get too many runs to see here as England battle away, accumulate this evening.
We said at the beginning that if the average rate at which England have scored in the last 2 test matches in the 4th innings was applied, England would need just shy of about 77 overs. We've seen 54 overs now, so that's 23 more overs. And you're almost there in terms of the runs required. 378 is the target, remember? And England are at 246 for 3. Both Bairstow and Root progressing very well towards what, if they get it, would be very well deserved hundreds indeed.
Absolutely, yeah. Root 73 from 102, Bairstow 62 from 79. Bumrah, it is to bowl from the far end as predicted. And he comes from the Birmingham end, delivers, and Root is flicking away to that short mid-wicket fielder for no run. Yeah, so we'll probably get another 3 overs here this evening. Possibly 4, but more likely 3. 10 minutes left in the day's play. And then, as you say, Prakash, maybe another 20 overs tomorrow if England continue at this rate and knock off the runs for what would be their highest ever chase in the history of Test cricket, beating the 2019 chase against Australia in the Ashes. Ben Stokes' miracle. As Bumrah is in, this is full and flicked around the corner down towards fine leg by Root. There was a fielder there, so just a single.
And in comparison to that 2019 Ashes win, very little, if any, of the excitement that match had in the 4th innings.
Unless India were to take a hat-trick or something of the sort. You never know,
Yeah, I mean, cricket, we all know cricket's a game that is strange in some ways. You never say never till it's all done and dusted, but it will take something very special, and that not sure where it can come from unless some magic occurs tonight.
Bumrah comes in once more, this time to Bairstow, and he's on the glove, is he, or top of the bat anyway? A bit of unexpected extra bounce there from Bairstow, but negotiates it comfortably enough into the offside for no run. Let's have another look at this on the replay. Is this the pitch misbehaving? It was the off-cutter actually from Bumrah, and just sort of gripping and bouncing a little bit extra, wrapping Bairstow on the gloves.
The wobble seam there, extracting a little bit of extra bounce, but no damage done. He's seeing the ball so well.
Bumrah. And again to Bairstow, who drives, edges, and that's going to be 4 more runs down to the 3rd. A bit of fortune for Johnny Bairstow. It was mostly along the ground though, so it may not have been in danger had there been a full cordon in place anyway. But nonetheless, 4 more runs, 250 up for England as well. 251 for 3.
So that makes it what, 378, so
127 to win.
127 runs to win, which really, unless, as you say, India get a clutter of wickets very quickly tonight or tomorrow, unlikely tonight anyway, then it is just formalities.
Razin and Bairstow drives past mid-on. He's got good contact on this. Is it good enough for the ball to race away to the boundary? It's not. Siraj with the fielding, the relay work with Mohammad Shami, who throws in, and they get through for 3 runs.
Siraj is lying flat on the ground there on the other end. Hope he's not hurt himself. He may have bruised his knee or something.
May have landed on his knee as he tumbled over there. It was a good shot from Bairstow. Just
It was a full
toss, yeah.
Looking for the Yorker. He's just got it a little bit wrong.
Siraj is back up on his feet in his position at mid-off. And Bumrah will continue into Root this time, who is squared up but defends safely enough into the offside. End of the over. Prakash, a few more thoughts from you, and then Henry Moran will take you through to the close.
254 for 3. England have played, in many ways, a different version of passball, one has to say. They've limited the risks. You could argue that India's fielding, for the most part, field placements and bowling, has allowed England to be able to play a lot more risk-free, look at a lot of singles, and at the same time, you can take no credit away from the way Joe Root and Johnny Bairstow in particular, when they came together, England had lost 3 wickets in the space of 2 runs. 107 for no loss had become 109 for 3. The crowd was buzzing. The Indians were running all over the place. It seemed like we had a contest in our hands. They steadied the ship, got the runs going, and then have played some beautiful shots. Bairstow has had 2 lives, but Joe Root has been absolutely magnificent.
He has. And again, one of those innings where you look up, suddenly he's 55 not out, and you're not quite sure how he's got there. He's been brilliant. 2-5-4 for him.
That's the hallmark of a great batsman. You don't really realize how quickly they score without really looking like they're doing anything different.
Here comes Shami then. Change of bowling. I reckon we got 2 overs left in the day's play. Bairstow waiting. It's a wide slip, hoping for a chance. It's been hammered in the air. Fielder waiting, but it'll drop short. Bairstow taking on that long boundary out towards Vihari. There was just a moment where the crowd gasped.
Well, the strange thing was, again, I don't know if Vihari has seen it or not. It felt quite a distance ahead of him, but I don't even think he attempted to go for it. And there's confirmation now he's being moved to the offside. That's an indictment, isn't it, Henry?
Yeah, so he's come into the boundary. He's got a fine leg, deep third. I mean, it's a one-day field, this, really. There's Shami, comes into bowl to Joe Root now. It's short, left alone by Root and thuds into the gloves of Rishabh Pant. England 2-5-5 for 3, this partnership has been together since Alex Lees was run out with a score of 109. England lost 3 wickets for the addition of 2 runs.
They did.
At that point, it was right. Well, are we going to be done tonight? Or will India wrap this up early tomorrow? This would be, make no mistake about it, one of the most remarkable victories in the history of Test match cricket. Shami bowls outside the off stump, is left alone by Root. England broke a record chasing 359 to beat Australia 3 years ago in Leeds. 378 is a lot more than that.
It is. Now, I don't want to take any of your thunder away, Henry. I don't know if it'll be the greatest, amongst the greatest in Test match cricket, but it certainly would
In this
be
country, it would.
I won't argue with that because I haven't seen enough Test match cricket in England. A great effort in any case because England were behind the 8 ball when the 4th day's play started.
This is helped into the leg side by Root. Good connection. Paddling around the corner towards the backward square for 1.
Check low as well. He's seeing it well, Joe Root. And I think you have to give credit to England for the way they persisted in the morning. You have to sort of censor India India for the way they batted in the morning, and there's no question about the fact that there were too many loose shots, soft dismissals, allowing England into the game. And to England's credit, they persisted with the ball, the line of attack, and then have now come out and batted really well, including their 100-run partnership at the top, driven by Alex Lees's tremendous performance. You feel bad that he got run out because he looked good for a lot more.
Bairstow's from 70. Shabby ball's full. It's dug out by Bairstow up towards a shortish mid-off. News in terms of the attendance tomorrow. Tickets for free, just asking for a donation to the Bob Willis Fund. They went on sale, if you like, an hour and 27 minutes ago, and they are sold out.
That's fantastic. Let's hope there's a fair amount of generosity amongst those who book their tickets as well for a wonderful cause which can help save lives. And that would be just about the right kind of respect to pay to great Bob Willis.
Very full. Shami has his hands up in frustration. They come through for a quick single. Throw comes in from mid-on, but won't prevent the run. Bairstow will keep the strike at the start of the 57th over of this innings, with England 2-5-7 for 3, chasing 3-7-8. Don't forget tomorrow morning. There's breakfast with Izzy and Kempy. Izzy Dag, Tony Kemp, weekdays from 6 a.m. on SENZ. Brendan McCullum joining the guys as a regular each week. And then after that, Ian Smith, perfect place to get the wash-up from the cricket. Weekdays from 9. Win predictor has England at 77% now, Prakash.
There you go. And if I remember correctly, wasn't India ahead by exactly 257 this morning?
They were. Exactly that.
There you go. So the difference between the end result is now down to those runs scored this morning by India, which is about 120. England lead 121. And that sort of puts it in perfect perspective that it has been India's batting in the second innings which has allowed England to get to this strong position of almost 80% favourites.
Such a good point, Prakash. Here comes Bumrah bowling to Bairstow. He sends the ball into the leg side and will pick up 1. Sun shining brightly. The gulls swooping, waiting for the fans to leave so they can mop up whatever's been left in those seats. The crowd having the time of their lives over as well, right? They've seen England play cricket this summer that has been different. It has been a far cry from a side that won 1 in 17 test matches, that looked directionless, unsure of their identity as a cricket side. Roots waiting on 75. There's defending into the offside. There won't be a run there. 4 balls left in the day's play.
Remarkable how leadership, clarity of intent can transform groups of men and women in any endeavour. And this England team is, of course, a classic example. For me, the real test, irrespective of the result, which I think is pretty much foregone, is going to be what kind of attitude will India play with tomorrow morning.
Bumrah running in. Roots is waiting and leaning on a ball that is gently pushed towards point.
Because this is, I think, in many ways, the first test of Rahul Dravid's sort of role as coach. I know he's been handicapped by multiple captains, the stand-in skipper for this test match. All of those factors are important, but India will have to come out and try and make a fight of it. So even if they do go down, they go down with their heads held high. At the moment, they've not performed like that, in my opinion.
Bumrah bowling to Root, who clips the ball into the leg side. Where does the responsibility for what we've seen today from India, which has been subpar, where does that lie?
I think on the field it has to be with the skipper. It's unfair, I know it's a little bit harsh, stand-in captain, first game ever, whatever, but that's a responsibility you accept. I mean, I didn't see, when things were going sort of helter-skelter, I didn't see Bumrah calling the team together.
No.
I didn't see a huddle. Even when the 3 wickets fell, there were celebrations, but there was no sort of coming together of heads.
Bumrah bowling to Root, who helps that round the corner down towards fine leg. He will finish the day on 76, with Johnny Bairstow coming to face the final ball of the day, with the shadows beginning to lengthen here at Edgbaston. Applause for Joe Root. Applause for a partnership that is now worth 150. It's been
Terrific.
remarkable. 150 off 197 balls.
There you go. That's the way to a little over 5 minutes. And over. Fabulous innings. Fabulous partnership.
to complete the day. Bairstow's on 72. Bumrah in, he sways out of the way, watches it on through, turns on his heel and heads for the pavilion. With the bails removed, that is the end of a fine day's play for England. Joe Root and Johnny Bairstow's partnership, worth 150 exactly, has taken England into such a good position to chase down what would be a record in this country. 378 as a target. 378. And they're 259 for 3 at the close of play. Applause from Stokes and McCullum, the England Brains Trust down below us in the balcony. And as Root and Bairstow stride off the field, there's a few high fives from the Indian fielders will be hoping tomorrow morning can bring maybe some favourable conditions, some opportunity to get themselves back in this game. This game isn't done. England still have work to do, 119 further runs. And they have got a fragile lower order, but they've gone a long way to achieving something special. Right, that is where our coverage concludes here on SEN and across the SEN network. Bairstow on 72, Root on 76, 259 for 3. The England score requiring a further 119 for victory. Our thanks to Nikesh Ragani, to Stuart Meeker, Daniel Norcross, Neil Manthorpe, Prakash Mukanka, Jared Kimber. My name is Henry Moran. Thank you for listening. Love having you with us. It's been a privilege to be here and witness today's action. We will be back for the final day, and what a final day it might be. Thanks also to our partners bringing you this production, Rosine, the paint the professionals use, and Henley Holmes delivering affordability. We will speak to you ahead of the final day at Edgbaston.